Hello everyone. So in this session, in this video, let us go through some of the updates from the Atlassian ecosystem, and we make daily videos, mostly daily videos, but these sessions are all about learning what is happening in the Atlassian ecosystem. Now, this week I do have some interesting updates for you. The first update is about this new feature in Jira for onboarding your users. Now, onboarding users in Jira has always been as simple as just simply adding a user in Jira, and that is it. And when you invite someone on Jira Cloud, they get an email, which is great, right? And when they get an email, they can sign up and they can access the Jira or Confluence or Bitbucket, whatever you're talking about tool. But there is no proper onboarding, or there was never really a way to make it a bit more personal or a bit more welcoming for the users, new users. So what this new feature will do, this will let you create some onboarding, custom onboarding, not really a process, but a way for you to display some information, some links to new users. And you can do that based on, I believe, different categories of users. So I tried this, by the way, and I think it is good. It is not really yet there, like in terms of what you would expect when it comes to onboarding, but it is not really a process. This has to be, I want to say that it is not really a process where you can do something with that user when they log in to Jira. It is more about just showing some information in the beginning. So what you can do is you can actually create different onboarding welcome screens. I think that should be the right word for users based on I think around 14 different profiles or roles. So there are roles like software development, marketing, design, product management, and I think this is good because when you create a new user in Jira, the moment they log in to Jira for the very first time, you can display a list of projects that they should be working on, maybe a link to like start here guide. So at least they have some place to go. Usually when you add a user to a tool, they are usually lost. And it is not really a Jira problem, it is basically a problem with all the tools, right? And especially for those in those cases where a new person joins in, and you have to guide them, you have to help them with the induction, right? So there are so many things that you need to do with a new hire. And I think in this case, because people are working remotely, they are working from their home, and these days there are a lot of companies where there is no induction, like a typical old-fashioned induction process. They just give them a laptop and okay, your email address is this, start doing something online, right? But when you want to add someone to Jira, you can display these links. Maybe it can be as simple a link. It could be as simple as a link to their company portal, but at least they have a place to go in the beginning, right? So this is nice. I like this. And the way it works is you go to your Jira instance and and by the way, you need to be on premium or enterprise plan. So you need to go to your Jira instance, and when you go to your Jira instance, you will find this option called custom onboarding, and you can then select here some profiles or roles, and then based on a profile or a role, you can then create some kind of a welcome screen. It is good. I like that. So it definitely will add value. It is actually very simple, nothing complicated about it. So I would say just give it a try, and I think in near future this will become a normal thing to do. So we as Jira admins, consultants, we actually asked a lot about these things, like how to welcome new users. So I think this would be interesting and useful. Okay, so let us move on to the next thing. The next update I have for you is about Bitbucket. Now, there is a new Bitbucket feature called packages. It is, I believe, a bit similar to, I think, some kind of a image registry within your Bitbucket. I believe it will potentially replace, I mean, not really right now, but potentially in near future, it can potentially replace maybe Docker Hub, right? I don't really call myself a DevOps guy, but based on my limited knowledge of these things, I think Bitbucket packages would be a place where you can have your images. And I believe having everything within just one tool called Bitbucket, obviously, it will definitely help, because if you're trying to build some kind of a DevOps pipeline, you're just doing everything within just one tool. I know Bitbucket is a bit behind as compared to other tools in the industry, but it is getting a lot of love from Atlassian. So do take a look. It is in beta. I would say you should go and try it out. And by the way, when you are reading this post, which I will of course share in the description, where you will find all the links. By the way, don't worry about the links if you're listening to this. You can of course learn about packages a bit more in detail, and it comes with of course some storage and some monthly traffic. So this is useful, but you might have questions about whether this limit is based on number of users or number of packages. I believe it is just a total limit, but if you want to learn more, or maybe if you have more questions, you can actually go to this link called Bitbucket Packages. You can of course learn more about it, but even on the original post, you can see that people are actually asking questions. Overall, the response is positive, so I believe people are welcoming this new update, new feature in Bitbucket called Bitbucket Packages. So yeah, something that we need to revisit maybe in near future, and definitely people will Bitbucket users will have some feedback on this. Okay, so from time to time, Atlassian ask people for feedback, and if you have something to add, something to maybe tell Atlassian about a specific feature or something that you use, you can actually take part in their internal study. Atlassian is now looking at users for sharing how they use automation. I think most of the pro users or Jira admins, they use automations, and automations are of course great, right? Especially for someone who is coming from Jira data center background, and if you have always been doing scripting, automations will definitely give a lot of. It has already given us a lot of power, but there are of course limitations. There is a limit of what you can do. I personally use automations for doing simple automations, right? When it comes to something a bit more complex, sometimes you can use automation rules to build some complex automations, but it is not really manageable. When something goes wrong, you can't really debug easily. You can't really do troubleshooting, and it can be a bit annoying, because all you're doing is you're just working on this UI where you have to drag and drop different components, and it works nicely. And yes, we have smart values, we have lookup tables, we can do iterations. It's great. We can make web calls. And by the way, if you are trying to learn automations and you're not really sure, I have made plenty of videos on automations. Like, I have a free course. If you go to my website ravisagar.in, and if you click on Mastering Jira Cloud Automation, you will learn a lot. You can learn a lot. And these videos are of course not really recent videos, but they're all relevant. So if you are trying to learn automations but not really sure how and where to start, of course, you can follow these videos. But of course, if you have been using automation rules and you have something to share, I think Atlassian will try to get feedback from you. And I think they will also pay you $100 worth of gift card, which is not bad. So I'm actually thinking of doing this. So I mean, I would love to get $100. No, not pounds. Sorry, $100, 100 USD. Okay, so yeah, just wanted to share this with you. All right, the next update I have is about scenarios in Rovo automation, Rovo app. Now, I shared recently, I think it was last week, that Atlassian has added the option to have scenarios in the Rovo app or agents. Now, we tried Rovo internally. I think it is promising. We, of course, are looking at more use cases, and we are always trying to figure out how we can implement Rovo for solving problems for our clients based on, of course, our experience. And when we tried Rovo agents for the very first time, I think we liked the idea, but we were not really sure. We were not entirely sure how useful these agents could be. But recently, I noticed that Atlassian has added the option to have scenarios. So basically, you can do some kind of if and else. So basically, you can do some kind of scenarios where you can say that if the user is asking about a specific thing, or maybe series of things, or maybe you can have like multiple sentences, then you can do something, right? You can basically show some information. You can probably take the user to a specific place, right? Or you can suggest maybe something else. So this is not possible because now you can have scenarios like if this, then do that. So use these scenarios to make your Rovo agents a bit more useful. And in this post recently, Atlassian shared few examples. So I think this could be useful. And as I mentioned before, we are also trying to evaluate and figure out more use cases. And in the next few months, or I guess for the next few years, I think we will be doing a lot of Forge. We will be sharing a lot of Forge related content, of course, on Jira Cloud. Unfortunately, there won't be any Jira Data Center, so I don't really think I will be making a lot of Jira Data Center videos now. But who knows? I mean, maybe Atlassian will change their mind. I don't really think so, but I think in the next few years, starting from now, I think we should be focusing on Jira Cloud, because that is the future. Unfortunately or fortunately, that is for you to decide. Okay, so this is about the scenarios. The next update I have for you is this event, Atlassian's Brain for Smarter Teams. This event is an in-person event happening on 19th of October in Visakhapatnam. And this event is all about Rovo. So you can definitely join this event if you're near Visakhapatnam, or you will be in Visakhapatnam on 19th of October. And the topic is, of course, Rovo. There might be one more topic for another speaker, but at least you can learn few things about Rovo. Maybe you will get some ideas, and of course you will also meet others. Okay, so yeah, this is about the update, and there are a couple of other things that I want to talk about very quickly. We recently talked about workflows. We actually made a video, and we also talked about when we should be using conditions, and when we should be using a different workflow for those cases where you want to dynamically hide a transition in the workflow. Now, in workflow, we of course have a way to add conditions, and when you add a condition, you are basically saying that if this condition is not true, then don't let the user make this transition, but they can still see the transition. So the thing is that when you have a process, and in that process you want to do a lot of things, like you have multiple steps involved, that process will be same for everyone based on the issue type, right? So you can't really have 2 workflows or 3 workflows for the same issue type. But what you can do is you can have like a common workflow, which is a bit more complex than usual workflows, but you will let the user take certain path based on some conditions. So you're not really hiding a transition, but you're letting user take a route based on some field values, right? Maybe it is based on their role. So we can't have dynamic workflows yet in Jira based on conditions, but we can definitely hide a transition based on a condition. But of course, this may not be ideal always, and that is why I think it is advisable to always hire a consultant if you think you need to rely on a process and that process is really important for you for compliance purposes. And I think just have 2 workflows and 2 issue types in your project, but that may not be applicable always. So yeah, I thought I'll probably elaborate a bit more. You can of course read this post. I'll obviously share a link in the description. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the video of the week. Now, as a Jira consultant, as a Jira admin, we of course work with users, and when we work with users, we of course try to be nice because we are nice people. But at the same time, when you're too nice, when you are not in a position, or I should say, when you feel a bit hard to say no to your clients, then it can be a problem. So what I'm trying to say is that if you're a Jira admin, you will be working with users, you will be working with the business users a lot, but you will have to be a bit more, in a way, you need to basically show the users or tell them that you own the tool, and it is your responsibility to keep Jira healthy. And if you keep on saying yes to all those weird requirements or small things, then it can be a problem. So don't be too nice. Don't really try to do things without thinking. It might be a 1-minute job for you, but you might be damaging a lot. So when you're really good in what you do, not only it can be a risk to your Jira instance, but it may not be also good for the process. It may not be very good for the team itself. So try to follow the process. You need to, of course, stay good, be nice, don't be rude, but ask people nicely to raise a ticket and wait. Don't just rush into doing things when it comes to Jira. You might be thinking that yes, you're helping, but no, you're not helping. You just think you're helping. You're actually doing a damage to your Jira instance. So don't be a nice Jira admin. Be a nice Jira admin, but don't really do things without thinking. So this video will help you. So watch this video. I'll share the link in the description. And yeah, that is it. That is it for this session, for this video. In case you're new, we make weekly videos related to Atlassian updates, and we talk about, of course, the recent updates from the Atlassian ecosystem. And if you want to subscribe to this as a newsletter, if you don't want to watch or listen to this, you can also read. So we have a newsletter, and we will send these updates to you by email. All right, that is it. That is all I wanted to talk about in this video, in this session, in this podcast. I hope you enjoyed watching and listening to this session, and you also learned something new today. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.